You crash at 4 p.m. You drag yourself through dinner. You put the kids to bed, finally sit down on the couch at around 9 p.m. And suddenly you're wide awake. By 11 p.m., your brain is running a marathon. Your body is exhausted, but your mind will not stop. You scroll, you toss, you stare at the ceiling, and then you get up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again. That cycle is not random. It's not stress. It's not just aging, okay? It's your cortisol curve flipped upside down. And it's telling you something very specific about what's happening hormonally inside your body. Hello, y'all. I'm Miriam, functional nutritionist and gut hormone specialist. Tonight on Wind Down Wednesday, I'm going to explain exactly why this is happening, what your specific crash to wired pattern reveals about your hormones, and then we're going to do a guided practice together to start resetting that cortisol curve in real time. Okay? I hope you're excited for this. Y'all, this is going to be about 20 minutes and it might change the way you understand your body. Okay? So let's go, y'all. Let's go. Quick logistics. This is a live practice, not a lecture. Okay? We're going to learn something and then we're going to do something about it together. Okay? Like right now. All right? So y'all stay with me, please. Now, if you're watching this 8:00 p.m., you're in the perfect window. Okay. This is when your cortisol should naturally start declining. But if yours is not, and if you are watching this wired at say maybe 11 p.m., that's exactly even more proof that what I'm about to explain applies to you. Okay. Now, if you are catching this as a replay, because the replay is available, it will be, I still want you to do the practice with me, okay? I want you to still do this. Don't just watch. Your nervous system actually learns through experience, not information, okay? All right, y'all ready? Listen, grab a glass of water, find a comfortable seat, and I want you to give me your full attention for about 20 minutes, maybe less, okay? I'm thinking it's gonna be about 20 minutes. But by the end of today, you're going to understand why your energy crashes at 4 p.m., why your brain switches on at 11 p.m., and what that specific pattern is revealing about your hormones, okay? And here's what most videos that I've seen on this topic doesn't tell you or doesn't explain. Not every woman's crash to wired cycle is the same. It's not. Your pattern is a fingerprint, okay? A fingerprint. And today I'm going to show you why exactly that matters for you, okay? All right. So let's start with what's supposed to happen. Let's start there. In a healthy body, cortisol follows a predictable curve throughout the day, okay? It's called your diurnal cortisol rhythm. All right. In the morning, cortisol peaks within about 30 minutes of waking. This is called the cortisol awakening response. It's what gets you out of bed. It's what gives you that, okay, I'm awake, let's do this type of energy. Okay. And then at midday, cortisol gradually declines. Steady energy, focused, productive, and none of those crashes. And then late afternoon, cortisol dips lower, so you start naturally winding down, okay? And then in the evening, cortisol drops low enough that melatonin can rise. So you feel sleepy, you go to bed, you sleep through the night, okay? That's how it's supposed to work. That's the design. That's what your body wants to do, okay? But in perimenopause and menopause, that curve gets wrecked, okay? That's the best word I can come up with, y'all. But here's what I see in my practice over and over in women. I would say anywhere from 38 years of age to 55 and older. Okay. In the morning, cortisol is flat. You hit snooze, that snooze button 4 times. You need coffee before you can form a sentence. That cortisol awakening response, well, it's barely a whisper for you. In midday, you're running on caffeine and adrenaline. You feel functional, but it's forced, right? It's not real energy. It's your stress response compensating. And then around 4 p.m., you hit a wall. Not a gentle dip, a wall, like brain fog, cravings, the overwhelming urge to lie down on the floor of your office. Okay. I've been there. And around 7 to 8 p.m., y'all, somehow you rally, right? You get dinner on the table, you handle bedtime routines for the kids, you push through. Then between 10 and 11 p.m., you're wired. Your mind is racing. You can't shut off. The curve is literally upside down. Low when it should be high, high when it should be low. Okay. And here's the part that maybe nobody's explaining to you. Maybe. Okay. This isn't a cortisol problem in isolation. This is a conversation between your HPA axis and your reproductive hormones. All right. Now here's what's actually happening, y'all. During your reproductive years, excuse my dog in the background, estrogen helps regulate your HPA axis. It acts like a buffer. Okay. When stress hits, estrogen helps modulate the cortisol response. It keeps it proportional. It keeps it from overreacting. All right. In perimenopause, estrogen starts to fluctuate wildly. Some days it's sky high. Some days it drops off a cliff, right? And your HPA axis, your stress response system, it loses its buffer. Okay. Now, without estrogen's regulatory influence, your adrenals start compensating. They pump out more cortisol to fill the gap, but they don't pump it out on schedule. They pump it out erratically, okay, because the estrogen signal is erratic. Now, that's why you crash at 4 p.m. and spike at 11 p.m. Your cortisol is not following the clock anymore. It's following the chaos, okay? And it doesn't stop there, y'all, because cortisol talks to everything, okay? It talks to everything. When cortisol spikes at night, it suppresses melatonin. That's your insomnia, okay? When cortisol is erratic all day, it tells your body to store belly fat. That's the weight that appeared out of nowhere, right? It's like, where did this come from? I've been doing everything the same. Now, listen, when cortisol is chronically elevated, it steals progesterone precursors. Your body literally uses progesterone to make more cortisol. That's your anxiety, your irritability, you're feeling like you're losing your mind, right? When cortisol dysregulates insulin, your blood sugar becomes a roller coaster. That's the 4 p.m. crash. That's the sugar cravings. That's the brain fog, okay? When cortisol stays elevated long enough, y'all, your thyroid downregulates. So your metabolism slows, and now you're exhausted and gaining weight, and your hair is thinning and falling out, y'all. One flipped curve, 5 hormonal cascades, all connected, okay? All connected. Now, here's the thing that changes everything once you hear it, all right? Once you hear it, this is what changed everything. The way your curve is flipped tells me which cascade is dominant in your body, okay? In your body. Some women crash hard at 4 p.m., but they sleep okay. Now, that tells me one thing, right? Some women have steady energy, but they can't fall asleep. Different pattern, okay? Some women wake at 3 a.m. like clockwork. It's every night, 3 a.m. Different pattern again. Okay. Some women feel wired from the moment they open their eyes until midnight. That's yet another pattern. Okay. Now, each of these patterns maps to one of 4 metabolic types that I've identified across over 20 years, over 400 plus clients. Cortisol wired, estrogen stuck, insulin inflamed, or T3 downregulated. And each one needs a different approach to reset. All right. Y'all, this is why generic advice does not work. Just take magnesium. Just cut out caffeine. Just go to bed earlier. Right? Generic advice. Which type are you? I can't tell you from here. Okay, but I have a way for you to find out. All right, now more on that in a few minutes. Okay, I'll share more about that in a bit. But first, let's actually reset your nervous system. Okay, let's do that right now. Let's reset your nervous system. I love doing this, y'all. Absolutely love it. Okay, so we just covered a lot, though, right? We covered a lot. I've been talking. Your brain might be spinning right now, y'all, and that's normal. Okay. You just got a map of what's happening inside your body that maybe nobody bothered to draw for you before. Okay. But here, y'all, here's what I want you to understand. Information alone won't reset your cortisol curve. Y'all heard me? You heard me? Your nervous system doesn't respond to what you know. It responds to what you do. What you do. So for the next 5 or so minutes, okay, we're going to practice. Not because one practice, y'all, fixes 10 years of a flip curve. I'm not saying that. And I don't want you to think that. But you listen, your body needs to experience what downshift feels like. Even once, even briefly, your body needs to feel this, okay? So this is the evening cortisol curve reset, y'all. Now it's designed for this exact window, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. when your cortisol should be declining, but it's not, okay? So I want you to find your position, whether you're sitting or lying down. You can close your eyes if that feels safe, and let's begin, okay? So my daughter walking back and forth. I want you to start by noticing where your body is holding tension right now. Is it in your jaw? Is it in your shoulders, your hands, maybe your belly? Okay. Now don't try to fix it. I want you just to notice it. Okay. Notice where your body is holding tension. That tension, that's cortisol. Okay. That's your body bracing for a threat that is not coming. Okay. So we're going to start sending the signal. The threat is over for today. You made it. You're here. That's what we're going to do. So take a breath in through your nose. And I want you to hum on the exhale, low and slow, and feel the vibration in your chest. I want you to feel that vibration. Y'all, this isn't random. Humming actually stimulates the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in your body, running from your brain to your gut. Okay, so when you activate it, you're literally telling your nervous system, switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic, switch from fight mode to rest mode. Okay, I want you to do it again. Breathe in. Deeper this time. Let the vibration fill your chest cavity. Okay. One more time. Place your hand on your sternum. Your breastbone. Feel the vibration under your palm, okay, of your hand. Good. Now we're going to use your breath to physically lower cortisol. Now here's the mechanism. When your exhale is longer than your inhale, your heart rate slows. Okay. When your heart rate slows, your brain interprets that as safety and cortisol begins to drop. So I want you to breathe in for 4 counts, okay? And then out for 6. I want you to do it again. I want you to breathe in for 4 and out for 6, and let the exhale be audible. Let your body hear itself slowing down. Okay? Let's do it again. Breathe in for 4 and out. And this time out for 8. And I want you to slow it down even further. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now I want you to do something that might feel strange. Okay, if you've never done this before, it might feel strange. If your eyes are closed, I want you to open your eyes and I want you to sit up and I want you to shake your hands out. Okay, shake your hands out like you're flicking water off your fingers. Okay, then I want it to go into your arms. Okay, I want you to shake vigorously, right? Let it travel up your arms. All right, shake your arms and then let your shoulders bounce. Okay? Y'all, animals do this instinctively after a threat. Okay? A gazelle, escapes a lion and trembles for about 90 seconds and then it walks away. The threat is complete. The cortisol is clear. Now, y'all, we don't do this. We absorb the stress. We hold it in our shoulders, our jaw, our gut. The cortisol has nowhere to go. So shake it out. Shake it out. Let's do it again. Shake your hands, your arms. I'm giving you permission. I want you to give yourself permission to look ridiculous. Okay? I know I look ridiculous. Y'all, but it's doing something good. It's doing something good for your body. Yeah, now stop. Be completely still. Feel that? The tingling, the warmth, the settling. That's your cortisol actually clearing. That's what downshift feels like. Now, close your eyes if it feels safe for you. And I want you to place both of your feet flat on the floor. Feel the ground under you, okay? And I want you to place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. And just breathe normally, okay? Your natural breathing. No counting, no technique. Just breathe. And I want you to notice which hand moves more. The belly hand or the chest hand. If your chest hand is still moving more, if your breathing is still shallow and high, y'all, that's data. That tells you how deep your cortisol dysregulation goes. And that's okay. We're not fixing it in one session. We're starting to notice it. Now, if your belly hand is moving more, if you've dropped into diaphragmatic breathing, your nervous system just responded. You sent a safety signal and it listened. Now open your eyes if they were closed. Open them when you're ready. Okay? Now, y'all, let's talk about what just happened. Okay? Some of you settled in immediately, that the humming, the breathing, the shaking, your body received those signals and it downshifted quickly. Okay? Some of you felt uncomfortable, maybe agitated, maybe emotional, maybe you wanted to stop and scroll your phone instead. I want you to know that both responses are diagnostic. Okay? If you settled quickly, Your nervous system is responsive. Your cortisol curve may be flipped, but your capacity to regulate is still intact. That's a very good sign, okay? If you struggled, if rest felt uncomfortable, if you couldn't slow your breath, if your mind kept pulling you out of the practice, your nervous system is deeply entrenched in sympathetic dominance. You've been in fight or flight so long that your body doesn't trust safe anymore. Okay. Now, this is not a flaw, personal flaw, or anything like that. This is your HPA axis doing its job in an environment it perceives as chronically threatening. Okay, chronically threatening. Now, here's where today's teaching and today's practice converge. Okay. Your 4 p.m. crash and 11 p.m. wired pattern and how your body responded to this practice, that equals a metabolic fingerprint. Okay. And I've been doing this, y'all, for a long time. All right. I've seen these fingerprints cluster into 4 distinct patterns. All right. The woman who crashes at 4 p.m. but can't sleep until 1 a.m., different root cause than the woman who falls asleep fine but wakes up at 3 a.m. The woman whose practice today made her feel immediately calm, different nervous system state than the woman who felt more anxious during the breathing. Y'all, these patterns are not random, okay? They map, M-A-P, they map. They are readable. And once you know your pattern, you stop guessing and you actually start targeting. Listen, but I can't identify your pattern through a screen. Okay? Not in the few minutes we've been together and not with general information. Y'all, this is why I built something really specific. Okay? Two things. First is the quiz, the free quiz. Y'all, I created a gut hormone pattern quiz that maps your specific crash to wired pattern to your metabolic type. Now, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to complete it. It's free. And then you'll get your archetype, cortisol to wired, estrogen to stuck, insulin to inflame, or T3 downregulated. Plus, y'all, a free personalized 7-day recovery starting point. Okay. Now, again, it's free and the link is in the description below. The second thing is that I built intentionally, specifically, is the community. What we just did, y'all, inside of our Nourish and Flow Circle, which is a free community, we do this in our premium group on a regular, okay? Even in the free tier. But that's just one piece, y'all. That's just one piece. Here's what today's practice cannot do that our Nourish and Flow community can do. Pattern tracking over time. Okay. One practice is a snapshot. Members are tracking their cortisol patterns week by week and actually watching in real time their curve shift. Okay. Context for your type, right? In our community this month, inside of it, we are deep in the nervous system shift. So members are getting the HPA axis map, cortisol pattern frameworks, and tools that are personalized to their archetype. Now, the full tri-shift sequence as well within the community. Nervous system is phase 1. In March, we layer in circadian rhythm, then metabolic nourishment. Most women do this backwards, okay? They start with food and we start with safety. And there's a reason, y'all, for the sequence, okay? Now, this is completely free. You are not walking into a sales pitch. You're walking into a community, a room of women who are done being, I always say, gaslit about their bodies and are ready to actually understand what is happening. Okay. To actually understand. Now, that link to the community is free, y'all. That's also in the description. And I would love to see you on the inside. But listen, before you go, I want to leave you with something. Today, when you're lying in bed, tonight, when you're lying in bed and the wired feeling starts to rise, and for many of you it will, okay? I want you to try one thing. One, I want you to put your hand on your chest and I want you to hum quietly just for 30 seconds, okay? Just for 30 seconds. You're not fixing your cortisol curve in one night, okay? But you're sending your nervous system a message. And that message you're sending to your nervous system is this: I hear you. I know we're not safe yet, but we're learning. And that's enough for today. That's enough for tonight, okay? But one more thing, y'all. Listen, if this video helped you understand something about your body that maybe nobody has explained to you before, I want to ask you to do me a favor, okay? I want you to like the video and share it with one woman, just one who you know is lying awake right now or later on tonight wondering what's wrong with her. Nothing is wrong with her. Her cortisol curve is flipped and there's a way through it. There is a way through it. I'm Miriam Fajay, and this is Wind Down Wednesday, y'all, and hopefully I will see you on the inside of our Nourish and Flow circle. Till next week, take care.